Okay, so now we're going to take a look at managing seating. Seating not appropriate for all events, but a lot of events we want to keep track of where people are seating and have some control over that. So where we go to is our link. It's called Manage Groups, tab we haven't looked at yet. Come into here, and there's a couple of options I have here. You'll notice the new group screen is already open down there at the bottom. So if I have a particular group that I want to create, I can go ahead and do that. Most of the time, I'm going to click Auto Generate the Groups, and this is going to create a number of groups equal to my number of tables and a number of seats in each, a number of registration limit in each table, um, uh, appropriate with the number of seats. So if I go hit my Auto Generate Groups, I can see right there. There we have it. Now, some of these I may want to edit some of the attributes. So for instance, if I know that this is going to be I want to change this and make this my special table, I can go ahead and do that. I could also change the seating size if I wanted to in that case. I've saved that. Or if I want to create an entirely new group that's very unique, I could say this is going to be our panel, or we'll call it the press. This is where the press will sit, and I only want 5 of them sitting there. No weight limit, no wait list on that. And I can go ahead and I can add that in as my list. Alright, so then how do we get people into the groups? Well, I return to my event, and I go to my Manage Attendees, my attendees screen. And on my attendees screen, I can now see that I've got the options for groups. So if I want to filter people on, let's say, there's a particular attendee type that I want to have everyone seated together. So I'll take everyone who's of attendees, and I will say filter that. At this point I only have 2 of those records, but I would click all of them, and I would say, or in this case click all of them, and I want to assign them to group 2, and I update that. They're now assigned to group 2. If I wanted to filter on, let's say, I think we added a bunch of these folks as guests, so I go to my guests and I see, wow, I just got a bunch of guests. I don't really care where most of these folks sit, so I click off 8 of them in this case, and I say, hey, you guys are going to be in group 3, and I update that. They're all assigned to group 3, and so forth and so on. And so let's say there's an individual I want to change. So let's say that I really want to make sure that our hosts get seated at particular tables. I want to make sure that they're scattered. So I could go through and I could say everyone who's, oh, I don't have any people as hosts for this particular event, but I could scatter my hosts out and say, one host at each table, and it will let me assign them that way. And if, in the case of we end up with too many people, we'll get a message letting us know that's the case. Too many people assigned to a table.